Thanks for that. So I think Tina and I will be speaking on behalf of Australian Architects Declare, which is a national organisation. So I'll start off for us. So hi, my name is Isabella. I'm a registered architect in Melbourne, Victoria. So I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, who are the traditional custodians of the land I'm on today and speaking from, and I would like to pay respect to the elders, both past and present and future. So we've also got Tina Fox, Senior Associate from Carver, who will be speaking for the second half of the presentation today. And as I mentioned, we're both from Architects Declare and specifically the Materials Working Group within Architects Declare. So I'll start off with what is Architects Declare. So it's actually comes under a larger umbrella, Built Environment Declare, which is a global initiative. So there's Architects Declare, Builders Declare, Suppliers Declare, which all have Australian contingents as well. There's also overseas Engineers Declare, Planners and Interiors Designers Declare. So essentially it's a global industry advocacy group, and we're interested in addressing climate change through the built environment. In terms of Architects Declare, we're a group of practicing architects and also allied professionals. It's a global network and started in the UK in 2019 and then subsequently spread out to other countries in all different continents across the world. So there's currently 28 countries involved. And in terms of our Australian organisation, we're a registered non-for-profit, which came through this year. So we abide by a constitution. We're in the process of applying for charity status so that we can accept donations and continue to build on the resources that we've been working on. We're entirely a group of volunteers, and there are no paid positions, no admin paid or any positions, so entirely volunteer-led. And there are 1,000+ signatories of Australian architectural firms who signed up to the pledge that was released back in 2019, which was pledging to do better in this space and address the climate emergency. So in terms of our actual, I suppose, structure in Australia, we've got a national steering committee, which I'm a part of. So we have about 12 to 15 of us attending those monthly meetings, and we sort of vote on issues, any working groups and I suppose events that are upcoming, and the direction of the group year to year. And then within that, there are 5 working groups or main, I suppose, working groups currently. So they are including SAP events, which you may have heard of, the Sustainability Action Plan, which was launched last year. So essentially we're asking all firms that are pledging to Architects Declare to create a Sustainability Action Plan, and as part of this, addressing embodied carbon specifically. So we run events for that. We also have working groups for the SAPs. We also have an advocacy group, which does things like write letters to government and local members about issues such as, say, deforestation. We have the comms group, and we also have the materials working group, which Tina and I are in, as I previously mentioned. And I actually started this group in August because I identified there was a need within Architects Declare to have specifically a materials and embodied carbon working group. So within a short time frame of 4 months, we have actually achieved quite a bit. Quite proud of what the direction that the group is heading into. So Tina will then explain this in more detail now. And so thanks for having us. I'm excited to be here, and I'll pass over to Tina.
Thanks, Isabella. So I'm Tina Fox from Carver. We've been involved in Architects Declare for a number of years now, pre-COVID. So I guess that's at least 3 years, I guess. And last year we were involved with some embodied carbon research projects. And this year we're happy to be involved with the materials working group. So this is one of the key focuses this year, and we've got some main goals that we're working towards. Really, the main reason for setting up the materials working group is so that we can make it easier for designers to design sustainably better and easier. It's become apparent that we're all kind of working in our individual silos, all doing the same thing at the same time. And perhaps some of that knowledge sharing isn't happening as well as it should be. It's obvious that we're all asking of our suppliers the same questions, and it would be a lot easier if we were all singing from the same song sheet, asking the same questions, and getting suppliers really used to the kind of information that we're after. You know, as we all know, there's a lot of information out there. A lot of it's quite complex. There's a lot of different sources. And the other thing is that we're all at different levels of understanding in this process. So anything that we can do to streamline that decision making, I think is a good solution for everybody. So it really is about sharing our knowledge and sharing our resources and definitely learning together. But then based off that sharing, it's about advocating for clear guidance back to the industry, back to our clients and back to our suppliers. Thanks, Isabella. Next slide. Thanks. So we've got 9 regular members at the moment. They're all very active in this group. We've got Isabella, Scott Carver, obviously BBM, Bates Smart, Fitzpatrick and Partners, BKK, Brand Architects, Hassel, and Warren Marnie. So it's really interesting. We're all different sizes of practice at different levels of our expertise in the sustainability area. Working on different project typologies and in different states as well. So it's really interesting. I think it helps us all to hear what everybody else is doing, to hear that we're all struggling at the same time, but also that we're super keen to move forward and work together to get better outcomes. Architects Declare put a call out for more people to get involved, and I'm pleased to announce that the last meeting we had last week, there were many more architects joining, so it seems that everybody is really keen and desperate to engage in this space and understand more. So please do join. Next slide as well. So there's a number of key areas that we're focusing on at the moment that will be developed further next year. Our main focus really is to create a database that we can use to choose better materials. That sounds simple, it's actually quite complicated. And the first step there is to really was in trying to agree our criteria for the database. You know, what was the information that we as designers required to design better? And how could we filter that information to suit the type of project, you know, the client ambitions, etc. To help us source information for the database, we are looking at putting together a supplier questionnaire so that we can be sure that we are all asking the same questions of the suppliers. Look, it doesn't make sense for every single architecture firm out there to send out the same, a different questionnaire to the same supplier. Wouldn't it be great if we could have one questionnaire and one database? It makes it easier for the suppliers and it makes it easier for us as well. And also, I think it really sends out a signal that we're working together and that we're becoming more savvy in this space and we're knowing what to ask for. So along with that supplier questionnaire, we think it's a good idea to send an advocacy letter as well that explains why we're doing what we're doing and what our outcomes are. Alongside from the database and the materials, Some of the members have also been working at producing a design process guidebook and a material selection guidebook as well. So these are both incredibly valuable tools as well, which will be going public probably next year at this stage, I think. And again, it's pulling from some of the learnings that some of the architects have made and putting it out there in the world. Thanks, Isabella. I won't dwell on this too much, but some of the base criteria that we're looking at for our materials database, it goes beyond regenerative materials, and we're really trying to capture as much as we can here. Obviously, different projects have different requirements at different stages, different client ambitions, but we felt these were some of the key ones. Looking at human health and carbon within climate health, obviously ecosystem and social responsibilities for both of those, looking at supply chains and pollution. Any information that we can get around circular economy as well is also very valuable, and of course certifications for some of these projects. Look, then there's a whole heap of other criteria as well that are really helpful to us to understand, including the location of the material and where it's coming from, start to help us understand the complexities of the supply chain and all the other areas there. So this is the kind of information that we'll be assimilating into our questionnaire and our database, which will be developed next year. Thanks, Isabella. And I guess just finally, just to reiterate that we're not, as much as we're working with other with a number of architecture practices, and some of those in multidisciplinary as well, I might add, with landscape and interiors, for example. We're also, we're well networked, and we're really keen to engage and have been engaging with other organisations out there as well, such as the list attached, GBCA, BPI, Future Materials, Global Green Tag, and of course, MECLA. Again, it's no point us working in isolation. We really need to understand what other similar systems are being put in place by these other people, and so that we can really align some of the criteria and align some of the questions that we're asking, again, so that we're not putting too much pressure on suppliers. I won't divulge anything, but a lot of these organizations are really doing some very excellent and exciting work in this space, that's going to make life a lot easier for all of us. So that's it from Architects Declare. Thank you very much. Please be more engaged with us if you can, if you're a designer, and watch this space. Thank you.